as like a Black actress, Black female, okay, let me say, you do not get to do this that often. It's very, few and far between. And now I'm addicted. Now I'm like, where's the next action movie that I can do? Because your girl is an action junkie.
So it's interesting to me that along with discovering you, people have also discovered Jonathan Majors as a result, your co-star in this, and discovered him in such a way that now he has become a sex symbol. Is this something that you have made fun of him about? Because suddenly I am seeing photos of him everywhere, and women talk about him. Oh, Jonathan Majors, he's so hot and all that. Tell me you are making fun of him about this in some capacity.
I think I need to start making fun of him about this. I actually have not, but I absolutely have to now that you mention this. This is, for sure something that I will add to my list of things I make fun of him about. So let me do this. Let me get on this.
Yes.
I'll report back.
Report back. But with this series, it's one of those. I tell people this, and I felt this way about Game of Thrones. This is not the multitask kind of series. Like, you can't watch this and be doing anything else. Like, it has to get your complete undivided attention. Otherwise you miss stuff. So not only am I, watching it, but I'm also listening to some of the recaps, like podcasts, so I can make sure I understand every single symbol, because I feel like everything means something. Like I had to watch the first 3 multiple times because I was like, okay, what does that mean? All right, what does that mean? Because I found myself doing that because of the conversation has been built so much around symbolism. So for friends of yours that have watched it and people are they constantly hitting you up like, so what does this mean or that? And how do you deal with it?
It is so funny. I was literally, my sister, my family does it a lot. I'm like, wait, like they'll come up with strange theories. Like after they saw the first 3, no, the first 2, I think my brother Jake was like, I feel like you a ghost, Jurnee. You not real. Like they had all these theories. So you came back to life, but did you really come back to life? Like, that's what I need to know. I mean, it's funny. It is really funny to see, but also cool to see how people pick up on things and you're like, ooh, I didn't think y'all would get that, but y'all got that, I'm proud of y'all, so it is. I've heard from several people. Amir actually, he watched the first few episodes. One of them, I think he watched like 4 times or 5 times. Because he had watched it by himself, then he had to rewatch it to pick up on some of the nuggets, then he watched it with his friends, and then there was another viewing because he was eating and he was like, I'm gonna watch it,
Yeah, you can't watch it and be distracted. Like, you really have to focus in on it, which is one of the things that I love, because I feel like with a really great series, they're able to command your attention in that regard. I've mentioned a few times, like, your long and very illustrious acting career. And one genre I definitely love, as I said, horror and sci-fi are not my necessarily go-to, but I do appreciate what I think to be really good work. But I do love comic book movies, for sure. And Birds of Prey, it was interesting because I remember I didn't catch it in theaters. I actually watched it on the plane. That was the first time I saw it. But I remember the narrative that was around the movie, and people made it seem like it was some kind of disappointment, and I didn't get it at all because you guys were spectacular. It did really well. I mean, was this a narrative that you noticed as well? And where do you think this narrative, or why do you think it even existed around this film, which I thought was pretty well done?
I don't have an answer for that. I don't know. I don't know. I think there's power in narrative. People say it and it is believed. And I think though the fans, I don't think it's a widely accepted narrative. I see the response from folks who have seen it and the fans. I mean, it blows my mind, the response that we've gotten, just from what I, feel or hear. You know, they are so passionate about Birds of Prey, about the characters. You know, for me, I was blown away by the response to Black Canary. Excuse me, because I didn't know what they was gonna think about it. You know, they were either gonna love it or they were not gonna love it. You know, and just to see how enthusiastic they have been and passionate about Dinah Lands and the Black Canary that we, you know, created. I mean, blew me away. You know, it really, really did, and it's something that it warms my heart every single time. I mean, just last week they had like the whole hashtag going, and I was like, y'all, like, you know, it's just I'm feeling the love so much, and that's one of the things I love about the comic book world is how passionate the comic book fans are about these characters, you know, and it made me go into it with such like reverence and humility and respect, because you got to respect the source material, because that is what made them fall in love with the character to begin with, right? And just to see, you know, how passionate, like you said, you know, people love the film. And I had so much fun doing it. It was unlike anything I'd ever done before. When I tell you, I mean, 5 months of training for stunts, you know, as like a Black actress, Black female, okay, let me say, you do not get to do this that often. It's very, you know, few and far between. And now I'm addicted. Now I'm like, where's the next action movie that I can do? Because your girl is an action junkie. I mean, it was so liberating and empowering, and I just felt so strong, you know, in ways that I didn't think I could. You know, to train your body to become a weapon, right, is such an art, and I have so much respect for folks who've mastered that, you know. And I've always loved those films. You know, I grew up watching them, and honestly, like Bruce Lee was a hero to me growing up. You know, my younger brother Jockey, there's not one Bruce Lee movie that he hasn't seen. Let's be clear, more than 10 times. And just never really thought that I would be able to step into that world, right? Step into the world, into the action world. And 8711, the stunt team who trained us up, you know, I'm still close to them today, you know, to this day. Just had, you know, Anisha, who was my stunt double for Black Canary, and Maddie, who was one of the stunt coordinators, but also trained me up and pushed me so hard. They were just at my house, you know, last night. Like, I love them because we bonded, you know, they pushed me so hard. And that's what makes 8711 so great is, you know, they do all like the John Wick movies and, you know, some of the best action teams in the business, because they push the actors to do everything. They want you to learn it all so that they can shoot you. And again, for someone like me who's like, I'm possessive of my character, you know, I love that kind of stuff. So yeah, I had a blast doing it. I had a blast.
Okay, so if they do John Wick, then I wonder if they were behind Halle Berry when she was in the last John Wick, because
they were.
I saw the raw footage of her when they had that scene where they shooting everybody and they're together, and I'm like, okay, so if it goes down, I'm calling you and Halle, and y'all got to lead us to the revolution.
We got it. We got you. We got you.
Because Halle looked like she is surgical with the Glock. I'm like,
no, it's the same team. It was the same team that did Birds of Prey. They did the John Wick. And my Anisha, who was my stunt double on Birds of Prey, was Halle's stunt double on John Wick. It's funny. She was just telling me the story last night of how they made her audition for Black Canary on the set of John Wick 4. Yeah, was it? Yeah. They like during you know, I think it was the downtime when she was supposed to be dubbing Halle, some of the coordinators literally just came in and was like, okay, do this, and now do this, and now do this, and now do this. And they're like, we're making you audition. And she's like, fucking for what? And they're like, we're fucking Black Canary. But
that is awesome.
Yeah, they're the best, man. They really are. They really are. And Anisha, she was like mama bear for me. She had like my energy drinks off on the side. If a take wasn't good, she'd be like, that kick higher. Come on, open them hips. You know, like get that axe. Straighten that leg. Explode. You know, and so I love them. I'm incredibly grateful to them for pushing me so hard.
Well, one of the other firsts that you experienced in Birds of Prey was the first time on screen that you sang, correct?
Yeah. It was.
Yeah. Now you sang in Lovecraft too, because I remember the scene. Yeah, you. So going through that in Birds of Prey, did that help you? Because I know you have a little bit of anxiety about doing this, but did it help you for Lovecraft?
Okay, so I actually had to shoot the pilot of Lovecraft before Birds of Prey.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so arguably Lovecraft helped me with Birds of Prey. But it was different with Birds of Prey. It was more demanding. The actual song was more demanding than the Lovecraft Country one. But yes, it was the first time I had done it on that scale, you know. And yes, the first time in a film, because Lovecraft is a TV show and Lovecraft hadn't aired. But terrified of it, you know. But I also love doing things that I'm terrified of, because it forces me to grow. It forces me to step outside of my comfort zone. But it just, the stakes were high, because Canary, it's one of the things she's known for is, you know, her voice being an instrument, but also being a weapon. So it was so integral into her story, the storyline that we were creating for her. I had to do it right, man. It was, but nonetheless, a lot of fun.